Yo, 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 what is up, YouTube, boxing, family? It is K-Rod here. I'm back with another good video for you guys today. Um, Wanted to, make this little video to have a little talk on, Puerto Rican boxing and Dominican boxing. I guess this is a little long overdue video. Sorry that I haven't been actively uploading a lot, because, I got me a brand new job, so I'm working morning, so I come back pretty somewhat late back at home. I come back like around 5, 5:30, but still, like I'm like dead tired, like when I do come back home, so I try to, eat my food and then go straight to bed or just, play some video games and then call it a day. But yeah, let's get right into this topic. This is a very interesting topic. Somebody wanted me to talk about this for quite the longest, and yeah, I'm gonna give my take on it. Is Dominican boxing better than Puerto Rican boxing? And I would say honestly no, and here's why. This is a very interesting topic, so whoever gets pissed off and tries to like call me names in the comment section, I'm just gonna block you. Like I don't give two craps of who I get get anybody pissed off. Boxing should be treated like any other sport. Everybody has their own difference of opinions, and that's what makes up the sport competitive to the point where, whenever we talk about any group of fighters ethnically, it shouldn't be taken literally, verbatim, and I don't think it should really be that big of a deal. So, whatever I say in this, oh, oh man, I'm sorry, man, I'm getting tired. But yeah, whatever I say in this video, don't take it personally. So, to anybody that's watching that might get offended, just know that this is just my own take and this is how I believe and what I believe, so I'll just keep it like that. But yeah, is Puerto Rican boxing being being outclassed by Dominican boxing? And my answer is no, because for those of you that may know, Dominican boxing is a little bit on fire with two recent victories at the 140 pound and 130 pound division with Hector Garcia and Alberto Puello. And, they had pretty good victories. I would question Alberto Puello's performance a bit more than Hector, because Hector, he's a very good destructive southpaw with a decent amount of power. Only problem that I have with Hector is that he could be a little bit chinny, but I think that's all part of the game. Hector gets hit with like some good shots in there, but he gets back up. He doesn't just quit. So he has great heart and determination to put himself in that position of where he's at now, because he came in at such a late stage in his career, and I think even with that time being taken away from his career, I think Hector has shown how much of a great boxer he is just by using the standard basic fundamentals in boxing. But yeah, Hector, he's a very good fighter. I respect him a lot. But here's not the reason I'm not too high on him, and I don't think he's gonna stand out well for the Dominican platform of fighters that are out there, regardless of what promotional stable that they're with. I think Hector, he has great outside pure boxing skills, but the problem with Hector is that he's extremely flat-footed in terms of him trying to plant his feet to try to brawl with somebody that's not going to sit in front of him. And I think Hector, if he works on that more to make his footwork more precise and accurate, where he's going in for better exchanges, then I think Hector, he's gonna have a pretty good steady championship run. But I think it's all determined based off of what style comes in front of him. Obviously we have O'Shaquie Foster, that will be mandated to fight for the WBC title. I forgot, up against who, but I know Shafakasat Rakimov. He'll be facing up against who's that other dude for the IBF? I forgot that man's name. But basically, Rakimov is supposed to face against, man, who's the guy's name? I keep fucking forgetting. Uh, Hold on. Oh, I think I know. I think I know who I'm talking about. No, 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 no. Actually, no. No, Joe. Yeah, Joe Cordina. He got stripped because he got his hand broken. So Rakimov would very well just end up facing some other dude that I don't know the name of, off the top of my head. But basically, the IBF belt will be taken up between the winner between Rakimov and whoever's under him under that ranking. And then with Hector Garcia, I don't think he has to defend a mandatory. So I think if anything, we'll probably see a title, unification at 130. But even with the WBO right now, I mean that's vacant. So I won't be surprised if Archie Sharp, who, if I'm not mistaken, he's number one in the WBO, and maybe Oscar Valdez, depending on what he wants to do. I think Oscar Valdez, he's gonna try to find any way possible to try to go for like another run at 130. I don't think 135 would be his best bet because 135 is a very deadly division and it's a hyper stacked division. Not to say that 130 is not as stacked as 135, but 130 is still a very competitive division, enough to the point where Valdez, he might have some good winnable fights there. So I think honestly, the way Top Rank is gonna try to orchestrate these belts, they're gonna try so hard to make Oscar Valdez a champion, and then whoever's gonna be on the decks come up at 130, which there's a lot of good up and coming young guns at 130, but it's Oscar Valdez, he's gonna be given pretty good paydays here and there, and then after that, once it's all said and done with his career, he's gonna get set up to get taken out by some up and coming young guy that will defeat him. So honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if it was probably maybe Xavier Martinez or somebody on that level. But knowing what Top Rank has with their talent, I think 130 is going to be a very interesting division. And don't be surprised if I mention some of those names that will be on the come up. But yeah, let's talk about it, man. Is Dominican boxing better than Puerto Rican boxing? I obviously said no, from the beginning. When you do look at the level of progression with some of these fighters, like Carlos Adames at 160, Jason Rosario, if I'm not mistaken, he fights a 160 or 168, and then you have who's that other guy, Lennon Castillo, in which Castillo, he's not the greatest fighter, but he is a good, decent fighter. He fights a 175. He unfortunately lost, pretty bad to Caleb Smith, with a good power shot to the body, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Lennon Castillo. You do have who's that other guy? He fights at featherweight. He's a very, very good fighter. I love watching him fight. His name is Luis Reynaldo Nunez. He's a monster. I love watching him fight. He's just out of this world crazy good. And obviously you got Michelle Rivera. You got just a whole plethora of Dominican fighters that nobody hasn't heard of. Starling Castillo, he's mad good. I feel like he got to move up to 140. 135 is just not his weight. Um, yeah, there's just so much competition. But I think the biggest takeaway from a lot of these Dominican fighters is that they don't have the fundamentals down all the way through. And it's not to say that they can't get up there. It's just that, you know, they really focus too much, off of a amateur style to try to score points similar to the Cuban style. But the problem with Cuban style is that Cuban style is not good enough to compete at, at a professional level. At a professional level, you have to go in there to hurt somebody. You're not going in there just to pity pad your jab for points. You actually have to throw scoring jabs that are going to hurt your, opponent. So I think that when it comes all down to it, albeit with whatever scoring may be, but I think the best style, in all of boxing to have is a boxer puncher style where you go in there to hurt your opponent, but you also go in there to box. And when you box with educational footwork and educational jabs and punch placement and ring IQ and all those fundamentals, then, it just makes out the job a lot easier. So I personally think when it comes to Dominican boxing, they're not there yet. And I think Puerto Rican boxing focuses more off of that. But the cons with Puerto Rican boxing is that Puerto Rican boxing, like some fighters like to focus more, off of the brawling. Other fighters like to focus off of like the pure sweet science of being pure boxer before going boxer puncher. So I think Puerto Ricans really serve a good role in boxing. It's just like at what point of their careers are we gonna start seeing Puerto Ricans elevate? And I think there's a lot more names that are closer to a title, especially for Puerto Rican boxing. Obviously you got guys like Oscar Collazo, he's a beast. Subriel Matias, he's a monster. Obviously you got Jonathan, La Bomba Gonzalez. He's also the only male champion at a Puerto Rican boxing. He fights at 108. And I mean, when you go up to higher weight classes, that's where competition gets really, really difficult and stiff or very deadly. You obviously have guys like Nestor Bravo, he fights at 140. You have guys like Joseph Adorno, he fights at 140, if I'm not mistaken. He's a very, very good fighter. Edgar Berlanga, um, unfortunately. And, you got Xander Zayas, he fights at 54. I mean, the competition is way more, it's way more plentiful, but there are some major holes with some Puerto Ricans that fight at certain weight classes. So, I mean, at the middle to higher weight classes, that's where it gets harder for Puerto Ricans to like actually get their name out there. But I think like from like 140 and below, that's where Puerto Ricans can like make a huge rise in championship pool contention. But I think it's all gonna just, everything has to just, wait and find out. Because, I obviously think like guys like Brian Palaco and all those guys, they're gonna be very, very good fighters. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Like, if I don't see any progression out of this fighter and I don't think this fighter is good, then I'll be straight up to say that I don't think this fighter is good. But, one thing for certain and, one thing's like, for sure is just that, when I see greatness out of a fighter, like, I'm going to, give them, their roses, while they're here. So, I think it's best to keep a massive update on all these fighters because if nobody doesn't talk about them, and you're like one of the very few people that talk about them, because nobody don't want to put in that work, but still, like, when you put in that work, it plays a huge role, on the long term. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts, man. I think Puerto Rican boxing is definitely up there, above Dominican boxing, but Dominican boxing is like, it's like it's soon to be determined, because even though Hector and Alberto Puello, they just won titles, we're gonna have to see how they're going to scale, at the world title level. So now that they got their two belts for the WBA championship, now it's just time to see if they're actually, championship worthy fighters. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think, and be sure to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, man, I'm out. So, see you guys later. Peace out. Goodbye.